Hello and welcome to a video with me, Raindell. Today I'll be taking to be as a magic bruiser in action, and some people have been requesting that I do those builds for Guild Wars. So we'll show first Guild Wars setup, and then we'll do some arena battles as well. And honestly, before trying this out, I was doubtful. I thought it would be a funny build, but not one that works that well. But after some matches, I can tell you, it is crazy. It is very, very powerful, and much more than I would have thought. So I'm very eager to show it to you guys. And first thing, I guess, is I'll show you the perfect team that for me at least, in Guild Battle. The idea is we have a very, very good turn setup for the first fight. But then for the second fight, we're a little bit weaker because the TMRs that we use are single use, so second battle will be a lot tougher. But for this first battle, To Be acts first, moves in the middle, uses Rain's TMR, increasing her own spirit all the way to 68 for the next 3 turns. Then she has Absorb Plus, so she's going to heal back when she takes low damage from enemy magic attacks. On her second turn, she'll use Iron Body Stance, increasing her max HP and defense in case there's an enemy physical attacker, and then just more max HP is always good. After that, she's our damage carry, she's going to go in and do damage. And in this build, she has pretty good evasion as well, so we're sacrificing some of it, but it's still a overall evade build. Then, Nivlu goes in the middle, uses her own TMR to increase evasion across the board. And subsequent turns, if she has time, she's going to cast Haste. Otherwise, move forward, Barrier Break or Dispel. That's mainly what we want her to provide. Rain is going to be in the middle. Use Miranda's TMR in his first turn to increase magic and slash attacks for him and To Be. And then if he has another turn to buff, he'll get Hate with Astral Guard, and then do little amounts of damage, possibly finishing off an enemy that To Be wasn't able to kill. So that's the general game plan. So let's quickly show you guys the formation we're using. To Be has Spirit and then some agility here. We are giving out on a lot of evasion in this build, and then ideally, if you're going into blind matchups and you don't know if the enemy has a tank, you need attack enhancement. Otherwise, I would swap that out for Blade Soul for a little bit more evasion. But that's the overall build. Still a lot of luck, so we'll have some evasion and accuracy. And now 43 Spirit means it's going to be pretty hard for magic-based characters to kill us. So that's the general idea. Again, we have Resistance Field and Armor Deployment off for guild battles, because guild battles and any arena, because they're abilities that screw up with our game plan. And then Nivlu is there. She has only Haste and Quicken available from Time Mage, and then all sniper abilities on. She's there to use her TMR and then follow up with other buffs. And we've swapped out Concentration for Missile Mastery, because with Concentration she can hit the enemy team too early, so she doesn't actually get to buff. Not ideal, it will put her in danger later on in the fight, but she's mainly here to initiate our game plan. And then we have Rain, who will provide Miranda's TMR, increasing the damage on Rain and To Be, and also just in general being a nice buff to use. And then after that, he'll have some spirit left to keep tanking attacks from Yuna's and Sakura's from the enemy team. Alright, so let's try our guild battle setup here. We're fighting an enemy with a Yuna, not 120, but doesn't matter much. All she's going to lose there is full life. And what we really want to see is how much damage she'll do. And I don't think the difference between 112 Yuna and 120 Yuna will be that significant. Now, our team is really set up for its early turns. I think that's the only way we win is if those turns work well. So we get Spirit buff, we get Illusion buff. At that point, we're set for a pretty good start. Now, all 3 enemy members have magic attacks, magic scaled attacks only. So I'm not very threatened, honestly, by the damage that might come out of them. So let's see, Garvall begins, Detonation Blast, 515. Keep in mind, To Be will take even less damage, probably from that, because she has 50 Faith, not 97. So It's looking good when I see those numbers in the first turn. And then she gets to almost 6,000 HP, so it's also going to take a long while before they can get her out. Now, Nivlu, she's probably only going to be there for the first battle. No, she survives somehow. Okay, so perhaps this Garvall is not that strong. Hard to tell in a guild battle. He survives Rain's attack, and then off we go. Garvall's probably going down. Then can Tabi reach anyone? No, so we're splitting around a little bit. Disable from Ildyra fails. She probably used that because she had no chance to hit, or at least that would be my expectation. Now, full life from Garvall, we'll get to see a couple more attacks from him, possibly. Or maybe Tabi will just outright kill him since he doesn't have a barrier on right now. Let's see. Yup, so that's a kill. And then Rain probably takes out Yuna. Okay, so I wanted Tabi to get attacked, but I don't think we're going to see that happen in this game. Small practice, so they're back to full life. That's fine and all. We will kill Ildyra and then probably kill Yuna before she gets a turn. Yeah, Rain is going to finish her off, I think. There we go. Alright, so with this, the first battle is over and we'll move to the second battle. Pretty cool because we've got all our members still alive. Okay, so this time an enemy Garvall, who again is a threat because of his accuracy and magic attacks, but with the spirit we have, not expecting a one-hit kill from him. And then with only 1200 attack, they might have a physical attacker, but not one that's going to one-shot Tabi, which is my primary concern. Since she has Absorb Plus, if she doesn't get one-shot, she'll probably be fine for a while. And one weakness of our build is that our TMR abilities have only one activation, so for this second battle, our battle plan is kind of screwed a little bit. So we are definitely weaker in the second fight than we are in the first, but we still have a pretty good chance, I think, of performing well. Enemy Duane, low accuracy, so that's not as big a threat, but we don't have an evasion buff, and our setup doesn't have as much evasion either, so he might get a lucky hit in and possibly take us out. And then Fury Surge, not a major problem. Yuna goes back to healing because we're dealing too much damage. So yeah, I guess that's also part of the reason why Yuna's not that threatening. If you can keep the enemy team's HP low enough, she'll basically never attack. And now, I wonder how much AP Tabi has left. 0. So that's also an issue. Since we don't have bells on her, we have an... well, it's easier for them to kill us. Now, small practice, they're all back to max HP, and this definitely feels like an incoming lose, but let's see. Duane uses a little bit of AP, now he's going to use guaranteed hit ability. No, he decides to go for the miss. Interesting, not what I would have expected, but I won't complain. Holy will hit, and by the time this happens, we're probably losing out on our Absorb Plus pretty shortly, so that's not good. But we managed to take those 2 hits, and then Duane misses again. We get another turn on Tabi. Can she do anything? Oh, this means we don't heal since he dodged, so an evadable pain will probably kill us there. Still though, it was a second fight. We could not use our entire game plan, and it took them 3 magical hits to kill Tabi. If we still had teammates at that point, we would have probably had a good fight, so still very happy with her performance there. Now, this is our team for Arena, and I'm still trying to figure out the good setup here. Ideally, if the map was like the old one, where we could have everybody starting within range of each other, I would use the same setup as in the guild battle. But as it stands, units start farther away, so it's impossible to get those AoE buffs in the first turn. Because of that, I've made some adjustments. So far, I think Bells and Tabi is the best scenario, along with some Spirit Up. Now with this, she seems to be doing fine, and again we're swapping between Attack Enhancement and Blade Soul depending on if there's an enemy with high defense or not. This seems to be doing a pretty good job, and then Nivlu will cast Haste on herself first, and then on her second turn, if there's no enemy in range, she'll either use Haste on Tabi or her TMR, and both scenarios are good. I'm trying to find the last party member that can get to be and use Rain's TMR on her, but so far I haven't had success, so this last slot here doesn't really do much. They're mainly somebody who carries Shiva, and that's all they provide so far. Alright, here we are. So enemy Sakura, Whisper, and Yuna with Bahamut, Soul Discard, and Snow White Guard. So it should be a pretty decent enemy, one that doesn't go outside of what we are expecting. And obviously I've used orbs to climb the first couple matches in the day because you don't want to see me fight level 1's Munt. It's not that interesting. So yeah, the idea here is if we can get our early buffs, we will be in a pretty good position. But it's pretty difficult to cast those buffs in this map because contrarily to the previous maps that we've seen, in this one, we do not start one next to another. So I'm still trying to figure out how to get a friend of To Be to use the right buff on her, because I want her to have Rain's TMR up to put her spirit even higher. So ideally, we need a teammate that can reach her before being able to reach the enemy. So here we managed to get Inherited Bewitching Art from Nivlu. If we had put Rain's TMR on our To Be, she would then use it, and that would have worked out, but we would lose out on bells. And I think when you're fighting Yuna, you kind of need bells if you're not one punching her. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to hit her hard often enough to make up for the Prox of Aeon Bond. So in this team, now we are going to take the limit break from Yuna without Rain's TMR. Now watch how much damage we take. That's just Bai's spirit. Alright, roughly half our HP. It's a lot, but we have a passive that allows us to heal back up when we hit people. So, alright, now we still have 4k HP on To Be. And Yuna's limit break is out, so that's her strongest damaging ability. At that point, the match is pretty much over. Sakura cannot hit us at all, even if because she's dead from Xiza, and then we're probably going to kill the enemy Yuna pretty fast. See, there we go. All right, we've got another pretty interesting team: Elsie, Sakura, and Yuna, and they're probably set up for their class match team because they're running a normal vision card there, but aside from that, maxed out Bahamut, maxed out Trousseau, so I think it's a fine matchup. And this time with Elsie here, we might not have the chance to get the evasion buff from our Nivlu, because if Elsirelle moves forward, Nivlu will be able to hit her in her second turn. So will be easier to hit, probably, but let's see how it goes. I'm also trying to change my third slot, my Halloween Little Leela, so that eventually I can find somebody who is actually going to be buffing our To Be. So that's part of team building, is trying out new things. Obviously, To Be's build by itself works well, but there is room for improvement in other aspects. So here, yeah, as planned, we're going to haste and then hit Elsirelle because she's in range. And then I should probably turn Protect off for Halloween Little Leela. That was to set up AI in another map, but here, her not moving forward is not to my advantage. Now, we dispel haste from the enemy Elsie. I'm pretty happy with that one. And then we have Iron Body Stance up, so we will be resistant to magic attacks and somewhat to physical attacks. And now let's see them begin attacking. Now, this is a heavy hit from Elsirelle. She's a really good character, honestly. Every time I see her in action, I'm quite impressed. And now we will see some Sakura. No! So Sakura's not even attacking. That means she has no hit chance on To Be, even though we don't have an evasion buff or evasion equipment. That's pretty impressive. So she ends up dying without doing anything. At that point, Yuna will probably go for the full life, so we don't get to see them do much magic attack right now. There we go, full life. Now the position for To Be has changed, and Sakura will be able to hit us from behind. So I'm expecting her to try at least an attack. And Nivlu seems to have won her duel thanks to longer range, so we're good here. But watch how Halloween Little Leela just keeps wasting her turn. Definitely not a good setup. Okay, To Be just takes out everybody else, so yeah, well, if you wanted to see how Pugilist To Be hits hard, you've been served. But aside from that, this match didn't show the bruisery side that much. Okay, next battle. Warrior of Light, Sakura, Yuna. They have Bahamut maxed out, Solidus maxed out, but we don't care about slash resistance. We have 3 different types of physical attacks on To Be. The main question here is how long will it take us to kill Warrior of Light? Now, I was using the Blade Soul passive for more evasion, but since we're fighting him, let's swap that out to attack enhancement and give us some ability to penetrate his defense. Will be easier to hit, but we need to be able to kill him, otherwise we can't win. So that's also something you can keep in mind. Adjusting your passives as you go in order to be able to fight the opponents in front of you is an important part of team building. So let's see. I don't really see how this enemy team is going to kill our To Be unless they manage to land a light chain and then hit us a lot. So Little Leela uses Guardian's Fighting Spirit on herself, and I am fine with that because if she's alive, she'll be providing healing. So she'll be giving our To Be more effective HP than if she even had the buff thanks to the healing. So that should be in our favor. And now I like having Yuna, the enemy Yuna I mean, in front of my allied Nivlu, because on her second turn she's not in range, and so she'll actually move to buff our To Be. This time it's haste, which is perfect. Haste is a great buff to have on our primary attacker. So Eternal Pain. I wonder if she's reaching our To Be with this, or if she's just hitting Halloween Little Leela. Well, she misses Halloween Little Leela. There we go. That's the power of evasion. We now have Iron Body Stance on top of Bells, and To Be will be very hard to kill by our enemy team. And here, Energy Ray. Again, 43 Spirit makes us take that hit pretty well. And then Nivlu removes the Hate from Warrior of Light, which means we'll be able to hit whoever we like, so that's pretty good. We attack Sakura back, so not much damage from our Halloween Little Leela, but hey, that's fine. To Be is there to clean it up, and then almost goes back to full HP, so Absorb Plus is really providing a lot of value here. Now, Yuna takes out Nivlu. Of course, she'll prioritize hitting Nivlu, seeing how little damage she would do to Be. And then To Be just turns back and kills them. Oh well, doesn't kill them both, but close to it. That's pretty impressive, considering how much defense Warrior of Light has with defense penetration, and then the map also provides some defense penetration. We're able to hit him very hard still. And finish-ish the match with basically full HP on To Be. Now Perfect Evade keeps proccing, that's very RNG, but hey, we do clean it up. Perfect, going pretty well so far. Okay, well, thank you so much for watching. First of all, I am happily surprised. I think this build works really well, and I think I'm trying too hard to use Rain's TMR or other buffs. I'm realizing now, after a couple attempts, that honestly, To Be doesn't need that much support to perform well. So my next things that I'm going to try is probably use another party member that is strong by himself. Possibly remove Shiva, because since we know To Be can take at least one hit before going down, if I use a card that increases her damage, I'll also increase how much HP she gets back, and then she might survive still. And I would have another third member that's really strong rather than a weaker one. So these are tweaks that I'm thinking I could do, but so far, To Be by herself with this build can fight mages, can fight Yuna on an even ground, and that's pretty impressive, so very happy with it. So if you guys enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. It will make it more likely that you see my videos. And then, thank you so much for your time. Have a great rest of your day.